First of all, I want to make a correction. I'm married 56 years. My wife is married 55 years. It took her a year to get used to it. But it's good to be here, and I want to acknowledge some people. I'm going to leave a lot of people out. Miami Jewish Health System, Blaise Recordante, who did a great job. And Alex Paul, past chairman of the Congregation of Bethel, where I served for many years at the Academy. And Deborah Lynn, who is involved with all of this, books and books, and does such a great job of preparing everything. Mitch Kaplan, the owner of Books and Books, who's very helpful in getting this together. David Kabatsky, my editor, who couldn't be here tonight, but did a marvelous job putting it together with his team, and the wonderful work that he has been doing, and people, friends from the Holocaust Memorial of the Greater Miami Jewish Federation, of which I serve as chairman, and all the others that I hear. I have a lot of things. I go one by one, but I think we have to move on. Do I have enough time to talk about my book? So let me tell you quickly that I wrote the book to share with people that want to read it about my philosophy in life and in my rabbinate, my community work, that I always try in all these years to bring people together, whether it's different religious groups, whether within the Jewish community. We try to do away with the elastic or the different difficulties and the differences, but try to bring people together in a work of harmony. So I had stories about my grandchildren. I had stories about my wife. I had stories about the Miami Dolphins, of which I gave a prayer once a year for over 33 years. And interfaith work, my work with the Catholic Archdiocese. So let's get started in something nice and soft. Some of my 8 o'clock stories. So my 8 o'clock, let me go back. Somebody asked me, why did you write the book? And the answer is that when I started my rabbinate 50 years ago, over 50 years ago, after one of my services, a woman comes over to me. One comes over and says, "Rabbi, your sermons are beautiful. You should have them published." I said, "Well, maybe they'll be published one day posthumously." So she said, "I hope it's real soon." I hope she didn't know what the word means. But I decided to write the book pre-posthumously, and that's why we're all here. Okay, a couple of Einikov stories, grandchildren stories. So my Einikov, Moshe, who was sitting here, he said to me, "Zadie, how do you remember all your jokes?" I said, "I have a chip in my head, and all my jokes are written on the chip." So he said, "So how could I get to learn your jokes?" I said, "You'll have to get a chip off the old block." He's a witness. So he said, "What does that mean?" Generation gap. And then Noah, who's sitting right next to him, says to me, "Zadie, when you were growing up, did you go online?" I said, "Sweetheart, when I was growing up, the only thing we had online was laundry." I said, "What does that mean?" And then Hananya, who's not here, we were playing basketball, says to me, "Zadie, how do you get a picture with 5 American presidents?" I said, "We all happen to be in the right place at the right time." I have a few stories in my pulpit. I mentioned it posthumously. And then one lady said to me after my service, "Rabbi, your sermon was wonderful. It was short but brief." small compliment. And then another one comes over me after my service, and she said, Rabbi, your sermon was terrible. I felt bad. Little old man standing behind us says, Rabbi, don't take her seriously. She only repeats what others say. and then, well, after my 1-year anniversary in the pulpit in Dubuque, Iowa, we had a special service. A woman came over to me and said, I hope she meant this as a compliment. Rabbi, we didn't know what sin was till you came to town. And then Mikey, my other angel, in New York, when I was invited to give a prayer in the United States Congress, so I brought my whole family to Washington. We went to the Congress. They sat upstairs, and I was going to do my prayer. So Mikey says to me, Sadie, are you scared? So I think it's a learning lesson because he's interested in what happens if he has to speak. I said, sweetheart, when you know what you're going to say, you practice, then it seems you're doing a good job. Okay. I come up to the Congress room in the rotunda, in the hall of the Congress, and I get up on the podium, and a lady was the clerk of the House. I tell her the story about my aide-ago. Get me scared. She says to me, do you know we're still at the place where you're going to give the prayer? I said, no. She says, Charles de Gaulle, Conrad Adenauer, Winston Churchill, General MacArthur, and every president who gave his State of the Union address in the last 200 years when we were going to stand. I said, now I'm scared. And when I told some people after, somebody said, in the future clerk, when she tells that story, she'll add, and Rabbi Schiff. A little bit on the serious note, why I became a rabbi. I'm asked why I became a rabbi. In 1942, my father, Bashom, took me to Madison Square Garden. There was a big rally in which they were reporting of the massacre going on in Europe and calling on the United States and other countries to intercede to stop the murder. And we were standing outside. It was an overcrowded inside. We're in a loudspeaker. And as they're telling the terrible reports, I saw my father crying for the first time. I said, Papa, why are you crying? He said, Shloimeh, they're talking about our family. I have my whole family there, rabbis, cantors, community leaders, scholars, and they're all being killed, they're all being destroyed. So I tried to console my father and said, Papa, when I grow up, I will become a rabbi and I'll take their place. And I kept that thought in a promise of all. And the fact is, that motivated me to be close to Holocaust survivors all the years. When I came to Miami, we had the New American Social Club, which is an organization of survivors. They met in our shul. We had all our services in our shul. And the years went on, became more active with them. And when we started our Holocaust Memorial on Miami Beach, I was asked to be on the founding committee, and we built a memorial. And in fact, I live on the same street as the memorial, Meridian Avenue. So it's something that I kept to my promise to my father. Another little side about the Holocaust Memorial. A lot of people didn't want the memorial to be built on Miami Beach. They said Miami Beach is a place of sun and fun, and this is a downer. Holocaust Memorial is a downer. So the day before Miami Beach Council was to vote the invitation, give us the property, I talked to several commissioners. I talked to several commissioners.
It's not a big mic.
When you hear it, tell people. Okay, so I spoke to the commissioners, and I said, people say this is not the right place for our Holocaust Memorial. Do you know the legal address of this site? They said no. The legal address.
Rabbi, you can't hear a thing.
So by the way, I have laryngitis besides. I told the commissioners, people say this is not the right place for a Holocaust memorial. Do you know the legal address of this site? They said no. 1933-1945 Meridian Avenue. Those numbers sound familiar?
Yeah.
Show me any place in the world which is a more appropriate place. The next day they voted unanimously to give us the property. Now let me tell you about my answering service. I don't know if you heard about I had an answering service for many years. One day I'm making rounds, seeing people, seeing patients, and people are saying, "Oh, Rabbi, did you do your Christmas shopping? Or you're prepared for Christmas?" Everybody's needling me. I said, "Okay, let me in on the joke. What's happening?" They said, "Did you listen to your answering service lately?" I said, "No." I call my number, and this is what I hear. "Merry Christmas, Rabbi Schiff's service." So this is not going to work. But I didn't want to look like I'm offending Christmas actors, on the face. So I figured a clever way to tell them to stop. I said to the answering service lady, I said, during this time of the year, people are very busy. They don't have time for more messages. Just say, Rabbi Schiff's service. Okay. I'll make rounds. Again, they're needling me. "Oh, your Christmas grass." "All right, let me know let me in on it." "Call your service." So I dial my number, and she says, "Rabbi Schiff's service." Good, that's what I like. So I said, "Could you have Rabbi Schiff call me right away? I have to talk to him right away." So she says, "Oh, Rabbi Schiff is very busy during this Christmas season." The next day I canceled my service. I put it in a machine, the answer machine. It doesn't talk back. It's not creative. It doesn't give any messages.
But she didn't lie.
Rabbi, I have two ideas.
Yeah.
Let's see what everyone
My answer service at Christmas. So it reminds me of the story of the mother that took her child to a department store this time of year. And she took the child to Santa, sat him on the lap, and Santa says, "What would you like Santa to bring you for Christmas?" The kid said, "I don't believe in Christmas. I'm Jewish. I believe in Hanukkah." So Santa says, "Oh, okay. What would you like Santa to bring you for Hanukkah?" So the kid said, "A Christmas tree."